I often try to focus on the positive side of any topic when I script a video because we've all got enough crazy stockpiled up in our actual lives to last us an eternity, and we don't need second and third helpings via YouTube. And besides, games and gaming are here to release us from the toils of reality, to sweep us away to a galaxy far, far away and give us that sweet release we all need. So when I found out about this one, I decided I had to bring it to the channel because it's got a bit of everything. Positives and negatives, envy and yes, insanity, and at the heart of it all, a crushing in-game mechanic that is clearly in need of a total overhaul. What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, still enjoying and posting Outriders content, and today I think this one is really going to blow your minds. But before we dive into today's topic, I wanted to thank you all for the continued support you've been showing my Outriders uploads. And just in case you aren't yet a sub, please smash that sub button for more intensive Outriders content. And don't forget to ring the bell to never miss a future upload notification from my YouTube channel. Let's get this one going. Okay, so as someone that gravitates towards looter shooters, I am acutely aware of the grind. RNG is a fickle beast, and for some, it is incredibly generous, while for others, it is the bane of their very existence. So when one of my Discord community managers posted that he had finally obtained every mod in the game, I naturally congratulated him, and then you can probably guess what I asked him next, because it would probably be the question on all of our minds, that question being, how long did it take you? Now, what I was met with was this screenshot, and in case you haven't yet had your morning coffee or you just don't want to grab a calculator, 26 days, 11 hours, and 20 minutes playtime translates to a staggering 635 hours and 20 minutes, and just let that sink in. In just a little over 2 months, Altkaiser, the player who I'm referring to, was finally able to nab every single mod in the game. And that means all those class-specific mods as well. And for all 4 classes, in just over, yeah, I'm going to say it again, 635 hours of playtime. Now, since I have the date and timestamps in Discord, the actual date he posted that screenshot is June the 6th. So again, just doing a bit of rudimentary math, June 6th back to April 1st is 66 days, 635 hours, I can't believe I'm saying that number, but 635 hours divided by 66 days equals, on average, 9.62 hours per day since launch to finally get every mod the game offers across all 4 character classes. And in case you have your doubts, here is the accolade screenshot as well, showing the 406 of 406 progress tier 5 accolade for mod collector as fully completed. At this point, I'm not surprised by very much at what Outriders can try and throw at me. I mean, I've logged a respectable 300 hours in the game, and I've been here since minute 1 of launch. Now, I know it's nothing compared to Altkaiser's, and I still can't believe I'm saying this number, 635 hours logged, but let's be honest here, that kind of playtime is an extreme outlier. Just seeing this amount of hours and then the final results really stirs up a series of emotions for me. First, as a completionist myself, I am truly envious of what he's been able to accomplish. I still find myself going back into the original Division game, a game that launched in 2016, as I try to chase down some of those epically difficult commendations, which at this point matter very little in the grand scheme of things. I mean, the game is 5 years old, but to a hardcore completionist, which I am, it means the world. But to every coin, there's also a flip side. And seeing that 406 of 406 accolade, and then seeing how long it actually took him to obtain it, also brings out a flood of shock that actually turns to anger and then sometimes even rage. And so I'm met with this harsh reality that if I want to try to get all those mods, and based on my 300 hours compared to his 635, and the fact that it has taken me 2 months to get to this point, I will need to continue grinding at my present clip for an additional 2 months to even have a shot of finishing up that accolade. 2 more months of hitting endless challenge tier missions. 2 more months of punishing and stingy RNG, assuming that the hinted changes by the PCF team amount to nothing. 2 more months of countless dupes or CT-15 drop pods releasing 0 legendaries upon mission completion. I mean, in reality, ahead of me is a daunting task. And remember that 635 hours Allkaiser put in does not necessarily mean that it will take me that same amount of time. This is all down to RNG. Yes, it could take me less time than it took him, or it could take me even longer. Again, I refer back to that quote from the Outriders game director where he said, "We think that there are a lot of cool games on the market, and people maybe don't have any more time to spend 300 hours to basically grind one item." Well, how about 635? In all of this discussion, it really brings the punishing and stingy RNG mechanics to the forefront. Although I don't know how much further this topic could be pulled forwards, as it dominates most discussions surrounding Outriders, but what is evident is that it is clearly a hindrance. Hell, let's call it a deterrence to playing Outriders. When a looter shooter forgets how to drop loot and then makes a player's time feel unrewarding, then it has a serious identity issue. Outriders has forgotten this fundamental. I mean, some could argue that it hasn't forgotten the loot loop because it never knew how to properly reward players from the beginning, but what is clear is that even with these possible changes to the loot drops, or to quote the dev team from last week's Reddit post, we are also testing out some legendary drop rate changes with the intention to make them less frustrating and more satisfying. And I can honestly say that the majority of the player base, and rightfully so here, is going to be extraordinarily skeptical. There are so many single issues with loot that it seems like when they go in to fix one aspect, they're probably going to break two others. I don't know how you can change up the drop rates, reduce duplicate drops, give players a method to target specific pieces that have eluded them, guarantee legendaries from high-level CT clears, and give players incentives for engaging in the endgame grind all in one patch or even in a series of patches. Now, in my last few videos, I have advocated for Tiago to be that bridge between the stingy RNG system and players' needs by offering up the hardest and rarest items for drop pod resources, therefore giving players an incentive to hit the CT grind again, use those maxed out drop pod resources, and finally feel rewarded by obtaining those rare pieces for their builds. I guess what really gnaws at me with Outriders, because I well and truly love this game, is that the team is so close yet so far away from making the game right. If they would just stop tinkering with balance changes and minor graphical bugs and start listening to the players' needs, as in focusing in on making the game fun and rewarding, it would still be crushing it in terms of player counts. Okay, it's time to start wrapping this one up, and I wanted to unveil a new format here where I read some of the most popular comments from my last Outriders upload. And in case you want a chance at having your comment featured on my next video, make sure to sound off in the comment section below, and who knows, I may just select your comment. So for my last upload, the thumbnail read, "Let the spin begin." And this first one comes to us from Jaime A, and it says, "I'm done grinding for Legendary. The system is frustrating beyond a shadow of a doubt, unfair." And this really falls into line with today's topic. I hear this a lot about Outriders. Fun classes, cool skills, and interesting combat, but once you hit the end game and start hitting those CTs, chasing the gear and mods, it just saps all the fun out of the game because the RNG system is so random and stingy when it comes to gear drops. Next comment comes to us from Concealable. And by the way, I like that gamer tag. And this one reads, "This is going to end up like Anthem. Tons of potential and devs missed the opportunity." And just like that previous comment from Jaime A, I hear this one a lot as well. The comparisons are there. Anthem, a really interesting concept, beautiful graphics, a wild mix of combat and skills, but really not much to do, and the loot game was broken. And our final comment is from Clark Kent with 2 T's. And Clark says, "This is so disappointing. The devs started with great transparency, now it's very different. They seem to be hiding things." Now, I've commented on this in previous videos where I've praised this ComDev team for being out there, in front of the problems and proactively explaining what they were going through behind the scenes, many times in extreme detail. But as you say here, Clark, they've recently kind of turtled and retreated back to their shells. Before I go, I wanted to again invite anyone out there to join my community Discord server. Check in the video description, click on the link, accept the rules, and you are in. And once there, one of our awesome mods will get you steered in the right direction, and we've got dedicated Outriders channels for tips and tricks, builds, and the ever-popular LFG areas for farming, and yes, carries. Don't get overly frustrated waiting for 30+ minutes while a broken matchmaker system attempts to find you someone to squad up with, and then when it does, they are AFK. Just join my Discord, post in the LFG section and be in a group using mics and hitting your chosen Outriders content in a matter of minutes. Maybe you need advice on a build, a hard carry up to gear level 50, or are looking for hardcore in-game grinders to squad up with. Well, in the Discord, we've got all of that covered for you and more. Alright, that's going to wrap up this one, and I look forward to reading your feedback in the comment section below. In case you aren't yet a sub, please take just a second to smash that sub button for more Outriders content, and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss a future upload notification. If you could take the time to rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch for weekly streams, join my aforementioned Discord server, and of course, follow me on Twitter, posting on most things gaming related. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.